So hello everyone. In the last video we talked about what was Bootstrap, and now we are starting Bootstrap practically. So we will see how we can add Bootstrap in our HTML pages and how we can start working with Bootstrap. So in this video I'm going to show you how you can work with Bootstrap. So before doing that we actually need to download this Visual Studio Code editor, which will be very beneficial, and we'll be using this editor in writing our code for all those Bootstrap, because Visual Studio Code is a very great coding editor that we'll be using. So you can download it for your machine. If it is Windows, so you can try installing a 32-bit or a 64-bit version. If you're on Linux, so you can go with the Debian file or a RPM file. And similarly, it goes for the Mac OS. You can download any Mac file and then you can install that. So after downloading and installing that, which is very easier, you just click next, and that will be installed. I'll not be telling you the installation. You just install that software or this coding editor, and this you will find on this link, which is code.visualstudio.com/download. After downloading that, we can select a working directory. I'm choosing this directory, which is work folder. And now in Windows you will find this option, which is open with code. If you right click in the folder, you will find this open with code. Otherwise you can directly open Visual Studio Code and open this folder. I'll show you that. Let me just go with this open with code. So actually this is the Visual Studio Code. So I have already created one video about the introduction of this Visual Studio Code and some shortcut keys. If you want to understand that, you can also see the playlist in the channel. So this is actually the interface. I'll not be going into the deep, just understand this. If you want to open a folder, you just click on this file, and in here you can open the folder in which you want to work actually, and then that will present you one file explorer. You can inside that select your file or the folder. So I'll be creating one index.html file in which we'll be adding the Bootstrap link. So index.html will be our file. So in this by clicking on this icon I can create this, and you see that this icon is also present here. Now I can directly create one sample HTML page by adding this snippet. So this is the emmet which is activating in my Visual Studio Code, which provides the abbreviation for all the code snippets which are available. So if I do this, then the sample code will be added in the HTML page. You can use it for faster development or for not reusing all the code again and again. You don't have to write the basic things again and again. That will save your time. In here I can write learning Bootstrap, let's say, and in here I can just add one heading which is hello Bootstrap. Okay, so inside that, so if I run this file by clicking on open with live server after I right clicking that file, so that will be actually presented inside the default browser which is available to you. That should go inside that. Okay, so it is actually starting. So now you can see that this hello Bootstrap is activated and the default browser styling is added to it. If we see or inspect this element, so you can see that not very good styling is applied to it. Let's just add some Bootstrap and give some styling to it. So for adding Bootstrap, we can go to their official website, which is Bootstrap. You can just write Bootstrap. Then you'll see getbootstrap.com, the first website. You can go to their website. And in the website, you will find many useful things. For example, you can get the icons, about information about the icons, examples, and the documentation. You can also consider learning these themes. So we'll be not going inside that. We can just go to the docs, and for understanding, you can uh, get the idea from the docs as well if you get stuck from somewhere, so you can actually see that particular topic. For example, if you're learning container, then you can click on container and it will show you all those information about container. Obviously we'll be learning container and the other things as well, but if you get stuck while developing or in the development, you can go to the official documentation and learn about that. So in the introduction, it is telling us that how we can actually start our like Bootstrap journey. So it is saying that we can create this one, and then we can include the JavaScript CDN links, which is actually this one. So you see that it is actually providing us this link. So I can copy this link out. Also, it is telling us to add the JavaScript bundle, which will act as a JavaScript, because the JavaScript is also necessary for adding some dynamics in some of the components. We need that, for example, in drop downs and popovers and something like that. In them, we actually need some JavaScript, so we can also copy that out. So I can first add the CSS link in the header. So you can see that it is added. Also, we can add the JavaScript link, which is this one. You can simply copy and paste that thing. So this will be very easier. Actually, you should add JavaScript always in the bottom, because sometimes it accesses some elements which are not yet loaded and it gives us error. That's why. So always use JavaScript at the end. Also, it is telling us to add popper library if you're using drop downs, popovers, tooltips, and what are those? We'll actually learn that. So it is for supporting those elements or those components. If you didn't add this, so sometimes the drop downs and the popovers and the tooltips will not work accurately. So that's why we can add this one in the bottom. And then that's it. You just had to add all those links which I added just now. So all those links are added. Now we can start using our Bootstrap. So the 3 links or 3 to 4 links were added. So some of the JavaScript links were there and some CSS links were there. So you can try using CSS now, or the Bootstrap classes now, the CSS classes which they have actually created. The other way is to download the Bootstrap into your into your project, but that's not a good idea. I told you why. So we'll be going with the CDN. So if you want to understand how we can add color, then we can go to this color, and you can see that it is actually telling us about the theme. So we will not be doing that. Let's create a simple button or a typography class. Let me just add a typography class, text primary. If I save that, and if I see that inside the browser, you can see that the font family and the color is changed now. So I didn't added any CSS. I just added a class which is text primary, and then it started giving me this background blue color. So now you can see that how many stylings are added. So it added this color, which is the primary color in Bootstrap, and it is adding some font sizes as well, and it is adding some default margins and box sizing, font family, and the other things. So this is actually how we add Bootstrap, and we can add the classes. There are many other classes as well. So we can add them and we can learn about them in the future videos. So let's start our journey in the Bootstrap. I hope you understood how we can add and how we can start learning Bootstrap and how we can start adding Bootstrap in our HTML files. So we'll be learning more about Bootstrap in the next video. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in the another one.